Good evening, and welcome to the first session of Transition to Adulthood Planning. My name is Stacy Wolf, and I am your transition supervisor at the district's Exceptional Student Education Department. This parent series is designed to provide information broken down into small one-hour sessions with a half hour for questions and answers at the end of each session. This training will be offered every second Tuesday of the month from 6 to 7:30 on Teams. You can access the link on the TAP flyer that is shared through the parent link, phone calls, text messages, and emails one night prior to the training. We will also drop this flyer in the chat so you can hang on to it for future meetings to access the links and information. This evening's session will provide an overview of information on Broward County Public Schools Transition Services. In November, Lisa Chavez from Project 10 will be our guest speaker to present information on transition services in middle school. In December, we will have our guidance department come and discuss diploma options and graduation requirements. In January, we will focus on deferment, and in February, we will share information on all of our deferment options and programs. Then in March, we will have our partners from Nova Law Clinic and GAPS Legal present important information on guardianship. And then in April, you will learn about our post-secondary options. And lastly, in May, we will teach you all about life planning and transition planning. All of the resources discussed in each session will be shared on our parent Padlet, which you can access on the last slide of each session and will be available in the chat. We will upload every presentation within 48 hours of each session on our YouTube channel at TAP Broward, which you can also find and access on our flyer. Who are we and what do we do? The ESE District Transition Team is made up of 6 fabulous transition specialists and 2 amazing district job coaches. We support middle schools, high schools, technical colleges, and all transition deferment programs. The team provides direct school support to students and schools, as well as staff, teachers, and administrators. They liaison between businesses and schools to ensure meaningful work-based learning. They provide professional development to staff and administrators, as well as parents. They facilitate life plan meetings, as well as conduct transition planning meetings, and they implement deferment meetings, tours, and interviews. We are a very small team with a very big job. Here is a quote that I found that I'd like to share with you to keep in mind throughout our TAP information sessions. A truly successful transition process is the result of comprehensive team planning that is driven by the dreams, desires, and abilities of youth. A transition plan provides the basic structure for preparing an individual to live, work, and participate in the community as fully and independently as possible. I love this, and I think it's important to keep this in mind as we are moving forward with transition planning so that we understand that it's truly about our students' dreams, desires, and abilities. It is important to know that transition planning is a process. The student drives the plan. The plan is based on assessments and students' interests and input. It is not a one-time meeting with a transition specialist. It's ongoing and it grows and develops with the student. The transition IEP starts at age 12 and can go through to age 22. Transition planning takes a team. We all know the quote, "It takes a village to raise a child." Here are some people that can be part of your student's village. Each person in this village plays a unique role in the student's transition plan. They each bring their unique expertise to the table. So it's important to know who your student chooses to be on their team and what role they need to play. Here are just a few members that you can invite to be part of your village: the ESC specialist, the transition specialist, school counselor, speech pathologist, job coach, brace advisor, support facilitator, teachers, vocational rehabilitation counselors, family, and community. Now I'm going to provide a high-level overview of transition services and what they include. Please know that the transition services I briefly reviewed tonight will all be a separate training topic in this series, where we will take a deeper dive into greater detail on each topic. Transition services include the following and are essential components to developing a successful transition plan. Transition assessments and interest inventories are completed yearly to provide current information on where the student is, what skill the students need to develop, and what progress the student has made. And where is the student at as far as achieving their goals and meeting graduation requirements, and who's going to assist them in achieving these goals. Self-determination and self-advocacy. What is this? Well, here are a few questions that you can ask to see where your child or student is as far as self-determination and self-advocacy. Does your student understand their disability and how it impacts their learning? Can they make choices and decisions? Can they set and attain goals? Can they self-regulate? Can they speak up and defend themselves? Are they self-aware? Can they problem solve? These are all skills that are vital in preparing students to transition successfully and independently into adulthood. It's really important to understand diploma options and course of study when preparing a student to transition into adulthood. Understanding the different diploma options and what courses and credits are needed to obtain that diploma is essential. What is the course of study and pathway your student is choosing? Is there a certain program or school they need to go to complete their selected course of study? Community-based instruction. Can your student independently participate and engage in the community? And if not, what programs are available to help students practice these skills? Agency resources. What are the big 5 agency resources? Knowing and learning all about them. The Agencies for Persons with Disability, the Division of Blind Services, the Center for Independent Living, the Florida Center for Students with Unique Abilities, and Vocational Rehabilitation. These are just the top 5 agencies that can help your student with disabilities prepare for their future. Continuing on with transition services and what they include are our post-secondary options. What are the students' post-secondary options that match the students' post-secondary goals? So what is in the IEP as far as post-secondary goals should match what our students want to do when they exit high school. We need to make sure that the students' transition IEPs reflect the plan that will help the students transition to their chosen post-secondary option. It is very important to understand deferment and deferment options because these programs can help your student accomplish their post-secondary goals. Deferment is when a student meets all graduation requirements and wants to defer their high school diploma to learn more of the necessary skills to be prepared to successfully and independently transition into adulthood. Broward County Public Schools does indeed offer a variety of deferment programs, making it one of the most comprehensive transition programs in Florida in terms of deferment options. These programs can include career and technical education, work-based learning experiences, college prep programs, and specialized programs for students with unique needs. What are work-based learning experiences, otherwise known as WBLE, and how can they help students transition into adulthood? Work-based learning experiences for students with disabilities are structured opportunities that help them gain real-world work skills and prepare for future employment. These experiences, students practice work skills in various departments in a business that matches their career goals. They are typically 5 days a week, 4 hours a day, with a teacher and a job coach fully immersed in a business location. Broward County Public Schools offers 14 WBLE programs in hotels, hospitals, assisted living facilities, and in retail warehouses. Age of majority and transfer of rights and guardianship information. Age of majority and transfer of rights is when a student turns 18 and officially becomes an adult. The rights of the parent now transfer to the student, including academic decisions. It is important parents and the young adult understand this critical information and rights that will be transferred from the parent to the adult student. There are several guardianship options available for the young adult who cannot make any decisions for themselves, and it does impact the severity of their disability. Please remember to join us in March to learn more about this very important topic. Now let's look at some tools and resources that can help you and your students stay organized through the transition process. The post-secondary planning tool is a document that the transition team created to help students. This tool can help you and your student keep track of the student's progress towards achieving their post-secondary goals. This tool can help the student with monitoring their own progress, and they can share it with the people that are helping support them, including their guidance counselors, support facilitators, teachers, parents, and transition specialists. This plan directly relates to the student's IEP and needs to be updated yearly. Transition specialists provide this tool to the schools, and they provide training on how to use it. The document is created in a writable PDF, so it can easily be shared through email. Project 10 Education Network offers a wealth of resources aimed at supporting students with disabilities as they transition from school to post-secondary life. You can access these resources on the Project 10 Education Network website underneath publications. I'm going to share two very helpful resources that we use all the time here on the transition team. This resource you can use to help you navigate through the transition process. The Secondary Transition Roadmap for Families is designed to give families of students with disabilities ages 12 to 22 an overview of the milestones needed to assist their youth to become college, career, and life ready. The roadmap starts at mile 1, reviewing the transition IEP, and then it reviews responsibilities of the students, school, parents, and agencies. It also goes over and explains vocational rehabilitation's pre-employment transition services. It discusses graduation and diploma options, dropout prevention, diploma deferral, and also post-secondary options. And at the end of the roadmap, it provides agency resources with the links connected for you to access and review the resources on your own time. The second resource I'm going to share is the Transition Requirements Checklist, again from Project 10's Transition Education Network. This is a valuable tool designed to help educators, students, and families navigate the transition process for students with disabilities. The checklist is organized by transition requirements, state and federal policies, and the age at which the information and services is to be provided and implemented. By using this checklist, educators and families can ensure that all critical components of the transition process and transition IEP are addressed, promoting a smoother transition to adulthood for students with disabilities. The next resource is the Florida Department of Education's Graduation Requirement Guide. This is a guide on Florida's diploma options, and it provides essential information for parents and students regarding the various types of diplomas available and the requirements for graduation. The first page is for students entering ninth grade prior to 23-24, and the second page is for students entering ninth grade after the year 2023 and 24. This is important to know because Florida State has new graduation requirements depending on when you entered ninth grade. All of the resources and information that I shared on this evening's Transition to Adulthood Planning Parent Series can be found on our Parent Padlet. The Parent Padlet is for families to access the information and resources we shared, plus additional resources about transition resources, transition activities, and agency information. You can access this Padlet by simply clicking on the QR code on your screen. You can access it right on your mobile device. You can also access it by clicking on the link at the end of this PowerPoint. Our PowerPoint will also be available to you on the Padlet, so you can access all of this information again. We will drop the link for the Padlet in the chat as well. This concludes the informational section of the Transition to Adulthood Planning Parent Series. Now we will move into the question and answer section of this training. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We look forward to seeing all of you on November 12th to learn about transition services in middle school. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.